Dede, we're getting all kinds of words from this administration, this campaign, the Clinton campaign, from various sources that the president, your former boss, when you were press secretary at the White House, President Clinton is very angry at the press. Angry because we haven't vetted Barack Obama sufficiently. Angry because of the way we've treated the whole campaign. Let me put it around to you as a professional. Do you believe that the Clintons have handled the press properly going back the last year?
I think they've done a lot of things right over the last year. I think one of the interesting storylines that has so quickly been forgotten in this is a year ago, nobody expected Hillary Clinton to be the front runner ever. There were more people who thought she'd be out early than ever thought she'd get to where she was. They made a mistake in allowing inevitability to creep into their storyline. They didn't create that storyline, by the way. I think a lot of observers, both political and press...
Excuse me, Dede. Everybody thought Hillary was going to win this nomination. The international betting odds have been clear for years now.
That's wrong,
that she's
Chris.
Hey, that's a fact.
It's not a fact.
Everybody has been betting that Hillary would be the nominee. When they put money on it, people bet on Hillary being the nominee. This has been going on for years now. Why do you say she wasn't the front runner? Where'd that come from?
I think a year ago, in the spring of last year, that wasn't the storyline at all. And I think what people saw was...
Who was the front runner if it wasn't her?
I don't think there was a front runner. I think, you know, a year out, you don't...
This is revisionism, Dede. This is revisionism.
Chris, you know, you asked me a question. If you let me answer it, it would be helpful to the conversation.
Well, you are answering it and you're wrong. It's
Fine,
revisionism
you can disagree
to
with
say
your
that Hillary
guests,
Clinton...
but don't shout them off your show.
No one believes that Hillary wasn't the front runner.
I do. I think that she has... I think that she showed over the course of the last year a lot of grit, a much better campaign than people expected her to run. She was able to get people could take a second look at her in many instances in a way that she hadn't been. And I think she became the inevitable, you know, at the end of the summer toward the fall. And I think they allowed that storyline to take hold, and that's too bad. Bill Clinton never did that as a candidate. He always ran as the challenger, even when he was running for his third consecutive term as the governor of Arkansas. So I think that was a mistake. I think the Clintons have a long animosity toward the press, to get back to your original point. I don't think they've always handled it well, but I don't think Barack Obama has been fully vetted. That's what this primary process is supposed to be about. That's why it'll be tragic if it ends tonight. He'll be a much stronger nominee if he has to go out there and fight it out with Hillary Clinton and or John Edwards or somebody through 20 more states. It will be better for him. It will be better for the country.
You know, the problem I hear here coming from the campaign, and you're not in the campaign, but first of all, we hear the president a couple of weeks ago, the former president, saying, I've always been against the Iraq war. Now we see this latest revisionism tonight of him attacking Barack Obama, saying he was somewhat for the war over the last 3 years.
Right, that's bogus. That's the brain-dead politics of the past. For President Clinton, shouldn't have said that.
Well, I agree with that. But, you know, I look at the polls. You look at the polls. Which poll have you looked at in the last several years that hasn't made Hillary Clinton the front runner?
Chris, I don't think a year ago she was the front runner. I think that was the result of a well-run campaign over many months. That's my opinion.
Okay. I think she's been the front runner for a long time. Dede Myers, thank you very much for coming on. Kelly O'Donnell's at McCain headquarters at the Crown Plaza in Nashua.
Hi, Chris. This is where John McCain is trying to relive some history. He picked the same hotel. He's staying in the same suite on the 8th floor that he used in 2000, the scene of his surprising and very important victory here in New Hampshire. So what we've been seeing is really kind of a mix of the good old days and a very new campaign that's been retooled. This is, I must say, a small space for someone who might be able to win this tonight. So it'll be tight. John McCain is here with family. He's waiting for the results that will be coming in, taking it easy for a bit of time. Part of what he did today was to retrace some steps. He went back to some of the places he had made stops 8 years ago. I'm told by those around him that he's hanging on to a number of good luck charms as well. So this has been a real turnaround since the summer. It really is all counting on what happens tonight. And Chris, the McCain campaign has been through some of the ups and downs of the hardest moments of bare-knuckle politics. And this could potentially be a night where he gets the energy to live for another day. Chris?
Thank you very much. Kelly O'Donnell, who's with McCain. Keith, I have to tell you, I read all the polls. I'm a poll watcher, and I've yet to see a poll until today that hasn't had Hillary Clinton above everyone else for months and years now.
You and I have done these shows for 4.5 years back to back, right?
Right.
I mean, it's the same universe when we walked in here. The first mention of a Hillary Clinton in 2008 preference was in Maureen Dowd column of October 2002. We're talking about retooling because the condensed period of time, there wasn't enough time to get the message out, a retooling of a campaign, and of course she was the front runner, possibly before the nomination of John Kerry. All that stuff that we talked about with 1,000 guests about whether or not she might not run in 2004 to save herself for 2008, that construction.
Well,
that
it's
happened,
it's all about moving the goalpost now after the game is over. We're watching now a presidential campaign that's saying they were never the front runners. This happened in 1992. When President Clinton was 20 points ahead in New Hampshire. He ended up losing by 7 or 8 and declaring himself the comeback kid after losing 27 points in a matter of a couple of weeks. It's the same kind of dishonesty, I would argue, that we saw before. You can call it spin if you want to be polite, well, yeah. But I don't know why Dede was saying that. She must have a different mindset about what front runner means. My idea of a front runner is someone who in every poll leads it. That's a front runner.
Yeah, that's not a tortured construction at all. But I mean, dishonesty is sort of, I mean, we bring a little into politics every day. But what we're talking about here is what happened. What is it smart? What happens if this is not a bad night, relatively speaking, for Hillary Clinton? And we've had nuclear weapons thrown around throughout this campaign.
Well, then
all day
she is the comeback kid because, according to Dede, she was well behind in the polls. I mean, I don't want to be mean, but I have to tell you, I am stunned by some of the things coming out of the Clinton world lately.